Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we're going to be talking about the DoorDash promo pays because DoorDash promotions are the additional pay for orders that meet certain conditions. If the conditions are fulfilled, you Dashers will have an opportunity to earn even more. With that said, we want to know what those conditions are, what types of promo pays that are available to us, and that way we'll be able to make the most as DoorDash drivers. But in order for us to do that, we need to go over what DoorDash tells you. We need to know how it actually is in practice. And then I want to throw in my personal opinions and some pro tips that will help you make the most money in the least amount of time. So that way you're not losing opportunities because of promo pay. So without further ado, let's get started. Promotions are additional pay for orders that meet certain conditions, giving Dashers an opportunity to earn even more. There are 4 different types of promotions: peak pay, challenges, drive, and guaranteed earnings. Now, peak pay is the one that you really need to pay attention to while you're driving. This is directly involved with the DoorDash pay model and what you see on the accept screen. This will be able to make certain orders bigger. So the short version of this is peak pay. When it's busy, peak pay may be in effect. Hit the road to earn extra money on each delivery. When peak pay is available, it will be added to your total earnings shown when you're on a delivery. So usually it will look like plus $1, $2, $3, etc. Now, what is peak pay? What are peak pay incentives according to this? We just talked about that. How to qualify for peak pay. So this is not something you need to specifically sign up for. Like, it's not like I want to be a part of the peak pay. This just is applied automatically. What is going to be shown is that it's going to be from X time to Y times. In this particular example, it is 7:30 to 10:30. You're going to get plus $3 per delivery. Now, again, you need to be online, but that's not really hard to do. The time frames are going to be different per area, but I think it's basically the same gist across the board. This is where you are dashing, and in this area, since this is your starting point, that is what the peak pay incentives will be. What if there are multiple peak pay incentive opportunities at the same time? If there are multiple peak pay opportunities in the same starting point, specifically the starting point, not like adjacent starting points, you'll receive a combined peak pay. So earn an extra 2 between 11 to 2. Earn an extra 1 between 11 to 2. Below is an example. Yeah, so what this is trying to tell you is that if you start here and you complete 2 deliveries and then you somehow ended up in Oakland, you don't get the peak pay for the adjacent opportunity. You get the peak pay for being in your starting point. I would be careful of if your area has a bigger peak pay as opposed to adjacent peak areas. A lot of the times, Dashers of your area are not only just going to flood during that time, but what I've seen is that I also see Dashers from adjacent areas end up getting orders in your area because they're saving $1 per delivery that way. Not to mention, there's like if everyone's chasing peak pay, it's like a moth to the flame. Everybody's coming there, and all the other opportunities that are nearby are going elsewhere. When and where can I see my peak pay earnings? So yeah, this is when you complete the peak pay. I have never once seen a 50-cent peak pay, although I'm sure it's out there. The peak pay, it'll be clear and obvious when you complete a delivery. It'll be the base pay plus the peak pay, and then you'll see the customer tip followed by the total, just like any other completion screen. And I don't want to make that joke. That is inappropriate. Navigate to earnings. You can also see the peak pay in your earnings tab, where they will actually break it down for you. Challenges are the next option, right? On this screen, they say challenges are incentives that let Dashers earn extra money for a certain number of deliveries in a set amount of time. For example, over the course of a week. So sometimes it's during the course of a week, sometimes it's in the course of a few days, right? Sometimes even just like a certain period of time, like late night evenings, You can earn an extra $20 for completing 15 deliveries. That's just one example for like a week. Sometimes I'll see like complete 3 deliveries in the late night hours. For these challenges, it is important that you complete deliveries during the time period specified and any in the starting points listed under the challenge details. In the Dasher app, you are automatically enrolled in active challenges in your area that you are eligible for. You do not need to opt in to participate in the challenge. Where can I currently find active challenges in my area? Now, here's the thing about challenges. Any challenge that is currently active and is not yet completed in your area will show up in the Dash Now panel. But in most cases, there's a lot of areas where I know they just don't have challenges. Like this area I'm currently in, I'm in South Florida. I rarely ever see challenges. Or while I was a dasher, I rarely ever saw challenges. When I was in New York, I rarely ever saw challenges. So you may not have access to challenges. In this example, yeah, so complete 15 deliveries, get $20. And here's the thing, challenges don't necessarily say that you need to be in this one area. You can be in this general region. They say, hey, you can be here, 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 or here. And usually it spans to a county. When I lived in New York, challenges could have spanned to Nassau County, even though they were rare, but they were mainly for, when it was during slower seasons like summer or like late spring where people just weren't open to delivery at the time. I'm seeing other dashers in my area getting challenges. Why am I not receiving any? Here's another thing most people don't know. Challenges are sent to dashers based on additional criteria other than geographic region. So in other words, you can be a newer dasher or a longtime dasher, and you can, or maybe they're just trying to, oh, this is for top dashers only, which is just total nonsense. I'd rather just cherry pick. I'm receiving texts about challenges, but not seeing them in the app. Challenges will only show up in the app at the time they are live. So, in other words, if there is no active challenge, it's not like a peak pay where you can see in advance where they are. No, they'll just spring them on you. How can I track my progress during an active challenge? That's one cool thing, is that they actually give you a progress bar. When the delivery challenge is completed, you will see a challenge screen at the when you finish it. And congratulations, you earned $20. Where can you find challenges in your earnings? It's gonna come up under the others tab, as opposed to the dash. What do I do if I'm missing my earnings? How challenge pay will be reflected in your weekly deposit. So weekly deposit, not necessarily fast pay. So if you're trying to fast pay every night and it doesn't come up, it may not come through like that, even though I think it's total nonsense. How do challenges work with peak pay? You can earn both at the same time. They're two separate systems. It's not like you don't earn peak pay if you have a challenge. However, I do believe it is rare to see challenges and peak pay at the same time. I almost never see this. Drive. So you will continue to earn additional setup pay for drive orders. So Doordash Drive, I made a whole video about that. I'll leave it somewhere. You will continue to earn additional setup and on-time pay. So let me just be really quick about this. On-time pay is usually an extra $2 once the order is completed, assuming that you are on time to deliver the order. And setup is where you actually are asked to set up in the app, take a picture of the setup, and you will earn an additional $3. Guaranteed earnings are like challenges on steroids. However, they almost never happen either. Now, guaranteed earnings aren't like challenges in the sense that you earn money on top of what you are already earned. It's like topping off the tank. Quick example is earn at least $500 in total earnings for 50 deliveries in the next week. If you make more than $500, good for you, but that means you're not getting the guaranteed earning. Now, let's say you take those orders, you take 50 deliveries, and you only make 400. They'll give you $100. You're better off mastering and making the most money cherry picking. With that said, that's everything we really need to talk about with promo pay. I hope that you found this valuable, and don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time.